The chains bit into her wrists, old metal once used for industrial slaves on mining colonies. Now they held Lyrie of the Virellan in place. Her bioluminescent skin shimmered faintly even in the grime of the detention bay, casting dim lavender hues on the walls of her prison. She'd stopped struggling days ago. The Virellan were an empathic race, sensitive to emotion, unable to lie, painfully honest in everything. That made them perfect for the Alliance's re-education camps. If you couldn't lie, you couldn't resist. But Lyrie hadn't broken. Not even when they took her wings. Not even when they shocked her mind and tried to replace her memories. She'd felt the deaths of her people on the distant colonies. Empathic screams ripping across the void like a song of sorrow. The Virellan were nearly extinct now. Because they wouldn't bow. And yet, Lyrie held on. Until he walked in. The human. She expected another interrogator. Another sharp suit and sharper scalpel. Instead, she got a man in rough military fatigues, a worn satchel on his side, and eyes too sad for someone holding a stun pistol. "You Lyrie?" he asked, kneeling. She flinched. "Why ask if you already know?" He blinked, then cracked the smallest grin. "Fair enough. Name's Cole. And what are you here to take?" He didn't answer with words. He shot the lock. The door swung open with a groan. The chains at her feet clattered as he stepped inside and unclasped her wrists with swift fingers. "I'm here to take you out. To escape velocity." The corridors of the facility rang with alarms the moment they slipped through the lower levels. Cole moved like he knew every vent and panel. Lyrie staggered behind him, half dragged, half flying. Her vestigial wings flickering uselessly. "Why?" she gasped, panting as red sirens flashed. "Because what they're doing is wrong," he said without looking back. "And because I owe your people. Was. My ship. Hangar 6. Can you run?" She bit down on her answer. Her legs screamed. Her empathic senses reached out instinctively and hit something strange. Cole's emotions. Guilt, anger, compassion. Humans were harder to read than most species, but Cole felt raw, like an open wound that refused to scab over. He wasn't lying. They reached a half-open blast door, stuck halfway down. Cole slid under. Lyrie didn't have the strength. The thudding of boots behind her told her the guards had caught up. She turned, teeth bared. Cole dove back, grabbed her waist, and heaved her through. Blaster fire struck the walls as the door slammed shut, sealing them in. 3 freedoms cost. The ship was small. Old Earth model. Custom mods. Her name painted in messy strokes on the hull. Gracie. Lyrie collapsed in the corner as they lifted off, shaking as the chains fell away completely. She watched the human as he piloted. The planet shrank beneath them, just another blot of cruelty in the vast dark. "You said you owe my people," she whispered finally. He glanced at her. "First contact," he said softly. "Your people helped a human colony on Baylor 9. The only reason I ever learned to read or eat right or not die of fever as a kid was because a Virellan medic gave my mom antibiotics and my brother a book." Lyrie's throat caught. "Then why does the Alliance want us gone?" Cole sighed. "Because you wouldn't join. Because you're peaceful. Because they can't control you." He stared. "You're a soldier of the Alliance." Was. He met her eyes. "Not anymore." For healing songs. Days passed on the ship. Cole kept the engines running silent, bouncing between deep space asteroid clouds and dead relays to avoid trackers. Lyrie healed slowly. Her body had adapted over the years, but her empathy remained raw. Yet with Cole she felt safe. Strange. Humans were chaotic, unpredictable, But in him was a quiet gravity. She sang at night. Virellan healing songs, soft and wordless. First he just listened. Then one night he whispered, "Keep singing." So she did. In return he told her Earth stories. About rain that smelled like ozone. About dogs and campfires. About grilled cheese sandwiches and movies with explosions. She laughed more with him than she had in her entire adult life. And one day, as he cleaned her cracked wing membranes, she reached out and touched his chest. "You carry too much," she whispered. He froze. "I can feel it. The deaths. The regrets. You blame yourself for things beyond you." He looked away. "Let me carry some of it," she said. And he let her. Via the betrayal. It couldn't last. The ship was intercepted near the Syrian belt. Trap. 3 cruisers. Cole cursed, yanking the yoke. But they were surrounded. He turned to her, panic rising. "There's a hide compartment. Get in." Lyrie stood. She could feel the tension in him. Not fear for himself. For her. "No," she said. "You'll die out here," he growled. "And if I'm taken again, I'll wish I had." The airlock hissed. A signal was coming through. "Cole Renner. This is Commander Liska of the Alliance. Stand down. We only want the fugitive." Lyrie gritted her teeth. "Let me speak." He hesitated. She activated the comm. "You came for a prisoner," she said, voice smooth. "But there are no chains here anymore. Return with us, Virellan. Or we reduce that ship to ash." "I will return," she said, "if you swear no harm comes to the human." Cole shouted. "No, Lyrie, don't." She muted him. "Do we have a deal?" she asked the Alliance. The pause felt like a lifetime. "Yes." 6. Fire and freedom. She stepped into the airlock. But Cole had already moved. He tackled her, slamming the override and sealing the hatch behind her. "Cole, no." He hit the ejector on her pod and launched it toward the nearest moon. She screamed in fury, in grief, in connection, as his emotions washed over her one last time. Love. Sacrifice. Hope. The last thing she saw before the pod sealed was Cole charging the bridge, blaster in hand, face like thunder. 7. Resurrection. 3 weeks later. The Gracie was found drifting. The Alliance reported Cole Renner as Kia, killed in the firefight. The official story painted him as a deluded traitor. But Lyrie knew. She felt his presence when she landed on the moon and met the other rebels hiding there. Other species. Other survivors. All carrying scars from the Alliance's rule. And a message waited for her there. One that had been uploaded from the Gracie just before her pod launched. It was Cole, sitting at the pilot's seat, recording. "If you're seeing this, I probably didn't make it. But that's okay. I didn't free you to own you. I didn't save you so you'd owe me. I did it because it was right. Because you deserved more than chains. You still do. And if by some miracle I live, don't come looking. Unless you want to." She watched it every night. And then, on the 40th day, she felt it. Spark. Oh. Life. Somewhere in the stars. The choice. She stood before the rebel council, wings healed, light shining strong. "I want a ship," she said. "You have one," the grizzled ex-general replied. "The Gracie is yours now. I want crew. Fighters. Supplies. Going to war." "No," she said softly. "Going to find the one who taught me freedom." They watched her silently, then nodded. And Lyrie smiled just a little. 9. Epilogue. When stars align. The Gracie flew again. Sleek, faster, modified with Virellan tech. And in the pilot's seat, Lyrie sat, fingers brushing the controls like a lover's skin.